Well, several questions have come in about a very popular topic, and that is Bray Wyatt. So let me ask you a couple of these. This was sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Joe in I was about to say Poland, but it's not Poland, it's Portland. Joe in Portland.
Joe in Portland. Polish Joe from Portland.
No, Polish Joe's from Minnesota. Don't do that.
Oh, that's right.
Wrestling has one Polish Joe, Joe Chupik. But here's the question from Joe in Portland. Just a quick question for the show. With Bray Wyatt coming back, as Jim is a big proponent of the old school wrestling psychology, which I appreciate, I'm wondering if there is consideration for what Kevin Sullivan did in Florida back in the day, and how it compares to what WWE is doing now with the Bray Wyatt character in a contemporary setting. I mean, Sullivan entranced Luna, which feels similar to the Bray Alexa angle. So would love to hear your thoughts on the differences or similarities and why they work or don't. And that's another one. We talked earlier about some of the people who have a problem with you not liking the spooky aspects of Bray Wyatt. They say, well, Kevin Sullivan did all this in Florida in the 80s. What do you say to that?
Well, what is spooky about it, though, when you've got hand puppets on a bizarre children's show? And that's what I said earlier in the program. I'm not talking about, Undertaker's supernatural shit. A 7-foot tall guy that looked like a fucking Undertaker could work his ass off and had that fucking voice and didn't use hand puppets. And I don't, as the comparison between Luna and Alexa Bliss, my God, Luna could today kick the shit out of half the male roster in the WWE. Alexa Bliss was a tiny little blonde Barbie vomiting black sludge like she was Linda Blair's stand-in. It's not a supernatural spooky, maybe one thing. Supernatural silly or impossible is where I draw the line. The guy had gasoline poured on him and he was set on fire and burned to a crisp in front of us. I got a feeling that was phony. But, if the people that want to like it are determined to like it and call it the same thing, whether it's Kevin's, fucking cult group in Florida or anything, they want to think it's the same thing because they want to justify it. If you saw it in real time, in context, and the way people viewed it and the way it was done, no. Kevin Sullivan didn't teleport anyone. No one disappeared and reappeared. Nobody changed clothes in the ice machine. Nobody was set on fire on camera and burned to a crisp in front of us, and the announcers did not ever say, well, they burned him to a crisp. The people believed, the fans believed, because Kevin, they were an off-looking bunch of people, an off-putting looking bunch of people, Luna and Kevin and all of the various people that he brought into that group. Well, Gene Lewis became, what was his fucking name? God damn it.
Cousin
Mordecai?
Luke?
No, you bet Cousin Luke, but he in that group down there.
I forget
he was
which
in
one
that.
He was. Malachi.
And
actually, it may have been Malachi.
Malachi. And yes, they brought Mark Lewin, Purple Haze, out of the fucking ocean. And I stole it and did the same thing with Leviathan. You know what the difference is? The difference is that we didn't fucking make the motherfucker materialize out in the middle of the water. It was a human being that was in the fucking water and walked out of it. And it was the heels that were being weird and bizarre and potentially worshiping Satan and or some demonic black evil force. And with the people that were performing that in Kevin's group and the way that he talked and did it, the fans believed that they were a bunch of fucking Satan worshipers, even though they never said Satan, never said the word Satan. Dusty used to call Sullivan devil all the time. You little devil.
The magazines did their own thing.
And the magazines did their own thing, but that's the I mean, we've told the stories that Kevin had fans literally chasing them. And then there were fans fighting amongst themselves because he appealed to a group of Satanists down there that used to come and see him and cheer for him. And then the other fans burned those people's fucking van that they came to the matches in. It wasn't just phony, goofy, entertaining, ha-ha. It was done to make people believe that these people were fucking bizarre and insane, and they did.
You want to compare it to one of Kevin's things? Compare it to the Dungeon of Doom with a budget. It's more like that.
There you go. Yeah, and that, that was after the corporate world at TBS had taken over and everything had to be hokey. So I can tap out on that with you. But again, I love horror movies, but I want them to be realistic. And I don't want them to be silly unless we're talking about Young Frankenstein, which is supposed to be a parody. I want them to scare me. I don't want to laugh at them. It's ridiculous. I want to laugh at a comedy. So the problem is not the supernatural overtones or aura of an Undertaker or Kevin Sullivan and his band of demon worshipers. It's motherfuckers teleporting out of and into thin air, being burned alive, animated fucking sock puppets that have minds of their own and people interact with as if they are sentient beings. That you can all blow me over. How's that?
All right. I don't know how that is. I will ask I guess it's in the eye of the beholder. We'll continue on now here with the show.
Well, a lot of people have been thrilled with it, I'll have you know.
Well, there's no evidence of that, but Jim, let's continue on with the show here.